All right, so we are back again, continuing the full build of the ET48 Truggy. And so we are doing today bag D, or what everyone gets excited about, the D bag. Anyway, that's the rear gearbox assembly, and I have it laid out here. And it's really going to go together much like the front. This one uses the same bearings on both sides. So we'll stick these bearings in first. That one was a little tight. Stick that in there. Stick that one in there. Make sure they're all the way in. Next thing you do here is you put in the pinion gear. Slide that in from the back. Like so. Then we put this little shim on there. And then next step, we put this universal on with this Allen. And again, these are literally the most common screw that comes loose on these cars, especially when they're new. So you want to definitely use some like brake clean or electronics cleaner, motor spray to clean out these threads and clean out this set screw before you assemble this with thread lock. Okay, so once you get these parts all cleaned with some sort of brake clean or motor spray, etc., then you'll want to put this flat spot right there, put that up, put this set screw hole to where it aligns with that flat spot, and you push it on. And then you're going to want to liberally coat this thing with thread lock. Lots of thread lock is good. And then we'll screw this in like so, and it should go right in because these parts are all pre-threaded. And then give that a big good cranking, and finally come in here and just wipe off the excess thread lock. That one, I don't like it to be like zero gap. You can build it that way, but I just like to back it off. There we go, just a tinge. The bearings like to move. I mean, just ever so slightly a little bit of a gap in there, but not much. Just make sure this thing is super tight. Okay. So we got that in there. Next step here is to put in the diff. And again, for the back, we're using 10K. And you grab these two shims, and I like to start with them both on the ring gear side. And the ring gear goes to the right. If you put the two gearboxes together opposite, you're either going to get them both turning towards each other or away from each other, and it's going to be really weird when you first spool up. So if you ever get any weird behavior, it's more than likely the orientation that you installed these diffs. So again, we'll put that in with both shims on the ring side here. Ring gear goes to the right as you're looking towards the pinion. And then we check that play, which we call backlash. And again, there's just ever so slight bit of play, but I'm going to call that good. So we're going to put some grease in here along the teeth. And then we'll work it in. Put that down there. Okay, and then we'll put this case on here. And we'll secure it with 2 of these shorter screws. And let's get the power driver out to make this quicker. And we'll do the final tighten by hand so we don't strip them out. All right, so we got that gearbox together. Let's put the bottom on here so we don't get ourselves that grease all over our hands. These things tend to be a little bit tight, and it seems to be easier to put this little side with these little notches in first. And then just kind of work your way around to pushing that in there like so. It should be fully flush on all sides if you get it in there right. And then we got these little screws, and these things, they really just hold this thing from falling out. They don't need to be very tight at all. Just like that, just until you get tension. All right. Okay, so we got that bottom on, and once we get it on, I just like to check to make sure everything feels the way it should. And it feels pretty good. So we'll put that gearbox assembly aside now. Okay, so the next step here is this rear tower assembly, and as far as I can tell, this assembly is the same front to back. I cannot see any difference. So you just pick a side, and I'm going to start with these shock standoffs. They kind of help me orient everything. And again, I'm not following the manual setup, so I'm going to use the outermost hole, which is the 4th hole on my build, and put those in like so. You know, make sure that they're these little little ball things are pointed in the same direction. And then I use this, it's a turnbuckle wrench, 5.5 millimeter, to hold one side, and then the 7 millimeter nut driver on the other side. Put those in like so. Okay, those are in. Next step here is we'll stick the body mounts on, which go opposite direction as these shock mounts, and they go right in here like so. Stick those in there. Okay, so we got these shock mounts, or the body mounts, sorry, put in there, and then these use the longer screw to hold those in. Yep, so we'll massage that into place. Sometimes these holes aren't quite lined up. Okay. Just gonna drive these in with power driver. Then, like usual, finish them. Honestly, these don't really need to be super tight. Okay, so we finished those. Those on this side, opposite. And there's actually, on this tower, it's really cool. There's 3 sets of holes for the wing mount. And you can adjust the height of the wing mount, which is really cool because a lot of the other kits, you have to purchase a different version of this to adjust the wing height. So it's pretty cool. Forward thinking of Tekno to include that straight away with this build. Okay, and again, following this setup that I'm doing, I'm going to put mine in the middle height, or plus 7 millimeter location. So these screws all go in from this direction. Gonna push this one in, hopefully with this driver. Not sure what I'm getting. There we go. Okay, and we'll take the middle set of holes here. And then we'll put these nuts on the back, like so. Put that one on. And so, I mean, really, it's just going to be these 4 screws with nuts holding this all on. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that and I'll come back. Okay, so we got this tower assembly all done here. And the final step of this debag build is putting the tower on the gearbox. So it's 4 of the remaining screws, and stick those in, and you know, you guys don't need to watch me. I'll come back and I'll show you the finished product. All right, here we go. So got that tower on, standoffs and wing mount point aft with the sway bar mount here, and then the body mounts point forward, and everything is installed and it feels good. And so we are done with this bag. I hope you enjoy these videos and stay tuned for the next in this series until we finally complete this build. If you like these, please like and subscribe.